Every time I draw a head, I get something that looks almost right. And then I spend the next 20 minutes tweaking it until it looks worse. There's no decision making, just guessing, until it stops feeling wrong. 2 years into taking my art seriously, fitting it around a full-time job as a software engineer, and my heads are still like this. So I thought, let's get rid of these issues and relearn the basics. On a schedule, basic construction, facial planes, and basic shadows. Front and side view only, to keep it simple. For the start, I did some baseline sketches, and what stood out for me was that the relation between the eyes, the eyebrows, and the nose bridge always felt off to me. I revised the construction using the Loomis method. What you see here is one of those drawings. I tried using boxes in the past, but they never worked for me. At least not for the head. So, Loomis it is. Loomis wasn't new to me, but I never really practiced or refined it. I just drew these lines without really knowing what they are doing. The problem I was always facing, getting a good enough circle. Why is drawing circles so hard? When the circle is too skewed, it would mess up all the other lines, and somehow I rarely see it in the early stage. Sometimes I even forgot to cut off the sides of the main circle, just like in this one. I present to you Mr. Buckeyes. But revisiting the construction helped me identify flaws I have in my feature placement. The main one being placing them wrong because of inaccurate construction lines. I often got the distances wrong, just like in this one, where the bottom third is way too long. Also, skewing the cycle a little bit too much leads to misplaced symmetry lines, as I already told you. To get more clarity on my issue on a side view, I overlaid a Loomis head and marked out the main issues I found. And I saw the ear and the eye are placed way too far to the front, and the ear itself is too small. Also, the neck started way too low. It should start roughly at the height of the ear, but mine was on the height of the jaw. I also marked here the nose bridge and the lips, but misplaced mouth is more an issue of wrong construction line distances. But nose, eyebrow, and jaw were surprisingly correct. This small check helped me understanding the issues I have a lot. What I always struggled with is seeing the face as a 3D object. So I dig a little bit into the planes of the face. For this, I took a few pictures from the Asaro head. It's this fancy little thing here. And to get these kind of references, I always use this model by William Nguyen on ArtStation. I really like it because you can rotate the head and stop the light at the position you want to. So it's pretty handy. I will link it down below in the description for you. With these I studied the planes in front and side view. This helped me get a better understanding for where the faces has depth. For example, the eye is always a little bit sunken in, as well as that the face is not flat on the outside beside the eyes, but rather it moves into the space. The weird thing is, I know these things. These are all not new things, but applying them when drawing and when you still struggle with the feature placement is a whole other story. To deepen my knowledge, I studied shading these Asaro studies with different light positions, all from reference. This helped me get a better understanding of what planes are in shadows and which are not. But I realized too late that this model has a kind of ambient lighting here on the other side of the light source, which confused me extremely. I mean, when the light is here, why is this plane lighter than this one? I think the ambient light must be there so you can actually see the planes, but this messed up some of my studies. And for the later drawings, after I realized the issue, I diverged from the reference and drew more what I think should be right. For example, here, this plane is highlighted, but the light is behind the head. This plane should not get any light, so I just didn't highlight it in the next few paintings. I actively moved here from just knowing about these things and copying references to think about how it should behave and applying it. After all this studying, I made an imagination check. This showed my construction overall got a little bit better, more confident. But it also showed me some things I still struggle with. The eyes are sometimes too big, and the placement is still requiring some tweaking. But one of my main issues right now is that I can't see what's wrong. It seems like I just lack the observation skills right now to see and identify the flaws correctly. So I see something is off, but I cannot really name it. And that led me to just using the Liquify tool in a try and error approach until it looked right to me. So this is where I am now. The differences are rather small. It's not a big, fancy before-after review. It's more an improvement on the approach and understanding side of the head construction. I think what helped me the most was actually using the Saro model and marking out the planes. This whole process did give me more clarity on the volume that the head has and where the planes change direction. But my biggest takeaway from all this practice is don't rely blindly on these construction lines. I need to actively think about what this line represents and sometimes even diverge from them to get this to look right. I still need to dive deep into the single features of the face, the mouth, the nose, the ears, or the eyes. I have a basic understanding of all those, but lack the deeper knowledge about their volume in 3D. I will tackle them next before diving into angles or perspective. So if any of this sounds familiar to you and you want to come along on my art learning journey, give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.